What's going on, YouTube? Team Perfect Circle, bonded by Skate.
Unknown Sloth.
We're coming to you today with we're gonna try a new okay. Let's screw that. Okay, we're gonna have a new segment. It's gonna be something we're gonna do. But first off, let's give a shout out to Team Lockdown. Team Perfect Circle has officially joined with MCole40, and we are now officially part of Team Lockdown. So go ahead, hit up MCole40, check out our channels, all that stuff. We got a team blog on Facebook somewhere, I think, is what Robbie told me. I'll get more information about that. I'll put that over on my YouTube, his YouTube. So you can check all the team members out. We got a bunch of pros on the team. We had Hyadric on the team, but he decided to go look for another team. So yeah, but you know, we love the dude. He's a good friend, so more power to him, you know. But all right, new segment we're gonna do, a duel argument or duel discussion. It's gonna be a mixture of me and Joe and Lucas and perhaps other people that we know, and we're gonna pick a card. We're gonna pick a card.
No, and then this time we're doing two cards. We're doing two cards.
We're gonna do two cards this time. But what happens is we're gonna pick a card, and it's usually a card that whoever the two people are talking are gonna have disagreements about. For example, today our card is Starlight Road. Joe and I both have disagreements on this card, whether or not it should be main decked this format or whether or not it shouldn't be main decked this format. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it now.
And then maybe after we talk about it, like, you guys can comment and like you guys can like give your guys
shoot your guys' opinions. Tell us what you think. You think this card should be main decked or not. So the two cards that we picked today, other than Starlight Road, are Starlight and Potted Duality, and we're gonna discuss these cards in a number of different ways. We're gonna start off with Starlight Road. Now,
I'm gonna let you start.
I'm gonna start this off. Starlight Road, when it came out, everybody put it in their deck because everybody was running Heavy Storm and just all kinds of just blowy uppy cards, and people would just throw it in there and people would just play it, and somebody would just blow up their opponent's field, and then whatever. They would go Mirror Force, they go Torrential Tribute without even thinking. And then people started picking up on it, and people started being able to read Starlight Road. So people played, you know, one Starlight Road main decked, maybe one side decked, you know. But it was still an okay card, but that was when Heavy Storm was just everywhere. People were just running it like crazy and stuff like that. But now, obviously, Heavy Storm got hit by the ban list, but Black Rose went up to 3, so that also, you know, destroys everything on the field. But the argument is, should it really be main decked this format still or not? In replace of Heavy Storm, we have Dark Hole, which wipes out all the monsters. But I don't know. What do you feel? What's your thoughts on Starlight Road, this format?
Okay, guys, this card right here. There are many decks now that can pop more than 2 cards on the field at a time. X-Sabers has Hunley, and Gladbees have Gyzarus, and everybody runs Dark Hole. Everyone runs TT. Everyone runs Mirror Force.
Sometimes
depending on the deck. But mostly, like, in this nowadays format, like, you always have presence in the monster card zone. Quick draw, sometimes Glad Beats, depending on if they're like getting out like a whole bunch of monsters because of like Gyzarus and tagging out for like another monster, getting like 3 monsters out on the field at once, like, you know, Dark Hole, something like that, anything else like that. But since like Black Rose is at 3, Quick Draw is amazing with that card. Debris Dragon, Lone Fire, or the Dandelion Sink, Black Rose blow up the field, 2 tokens. Like, Starlight Road is good because then, like, you can be able to activate that card to like just stop it completely, and it stops them in their tracks from like doing like the whole blow up thing. It'll neg them like a whole bunch, and then like you can possibly get a plus. That's just my that's my thing on it. Now it's his turn.
All right. Well. Yeah, I agree. You know, Starlight Road's good versus Gyzarus, it's good versus JD, Celestia, things like that. But the thing is, the decks that it's really good against don't seem to be, you know, playing as much of, except for Glads. Like, not everybody's playing Lightsworn. There's a couple Lightsworns thrown in there every once in a while. Not a lot of people are playing Blackwings. A couple people will keep playing Blackwings and be like, oh, you know, it's good. Or whatever like that. Or people will be playing, what else? Anything else blows it up. And yeah, Dark Hole is another example. But Dark Hole is just a card. TT sometimes. It depends. But Trapstun's really taken the place of that for like TT and Mirror Force. So since a lot of people are playing Trapstun, there's not really a point to run the Starlight Road. Plus, if you run Starlight Road, it may just get trap stunned in the first place. In my opinion, I think Starlight Road should just be a side deck card. I think you should side it in versus, like, Black Wings, because they run Icarus Attack, so it has to blow up 2 cards.
And sometimes the people that run Delta Crow.
And sometimes people run Delta Crow, so it could be good against that. But in all honesty, I don't think it should be main decked, because it can be dead versus a lot of decks. It could be dead versus Machinas, it could be dead versus Stun, it could be dead versus anything. It could just be a really dead draw at the wrong time also. And I don't like to run too many cards that are just too dead of a draw sometimes. Like, certain times you gotta run a card that could be a dead draw, like a Bottomless versus, like, Gadgets or something like that. Not even Machine and Gadgets, just Gadgets in general. It's a dead card. But, you know, that's just one example for that. But, like, Starlight Road, it seems to me to be too dead too often in a format where not everybody's nuking the field like they used to. So now it's time for you guys to post your comments and all that nonsense and tell us what you think about Starlight Road. Think about, is it side deckable, main deckable, whichever. Now we're going to move on to
Pot of Duality. That card. I won't be having this card for long. I'm selling it to like a guy like on our...
Yeah, he's selling it to one of our friends.
Yeah,
so if you see his trade binder or anything like that, the Duality won't be in there. So
anyway, even though I might pull another one.
He might pull another one. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, anyway. I believe that Pot of Duality is not that great of a card. And yet, I have mixed feelings about it. The only reason why that I have mixed feelings about it is because the only reason why I wouldn't run this card in most of the decks I run is because most of my decks special summon a lot. If I run multiples of this card, and then I draw it, and then I really need to do a special summon, I can't play that card. So it's just like a dead card until my next turn. The only reason why it is good, because you can get out, like, you can play Pot of Duality and get like Mirror Force and everything else like that. I think this card is mostly good in either X Sabers or
Machinas.
Yeah, Machinas, yeah. Gadgets in general, Stun, Black Wings, because like there was a Black Wing deck that ran 3 of these. I just think that I just have like really mixed feelings about this card. Maybe he'll give you like a better argument about it, but like, I think Pot of Duality is only a good card in some decks, not all decks.
Alright, I also have mixed feelings about the card. I think, well, I don't know, I'm leaning more toward it's a good card for a lot more than just a few decks, but I still do have mixed feelings about it. Like, as being a Glad Beast player, I think the card's not helpful whatsoever, because I'm gonna need to special summon roughly once a turn, if not more, so it's not really good for that. But I do think that it is a good card. I think it helps to thin your deck through, get all the bad cards, or not get all the bad cards. It helps thin the deck better, so you can get more better cards to the hand you need. Like, you get to look at 3 cards, you get to pick one of the 3 cards. So depending on what your problem is at that time, you get to pick something to try to help you for that problem, or to help set up for something that maybe you were already planning. Like, say you're running Quick Draw, you don't have a Quick Draw in hand, you don't have a Dandelion in hand, you know, you got one of the 3, and you can, you know, add it to the hand to help, you know, speed the deck up. Running it in 3s is usually pretty big. Running it in 2s, yeah. Running it in 1, I don't think running it in 1's pointless, but I think to run the card in multiples is good. But it's the card's expensive too. Like, this card's not cheap, but I have a feeling it'll drop or get reprinted before we know it, so whatever.
Yeah, almost like what card? What card was like immediately reprinted? Like, as soon as
I don't even know.
Like, I don't know.
I'm sorry about the beeping. I keep getting text messages because we're about to leave in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the Duality is a good card side. I mean, I can still argue that it's not the greatest card in the world, but I like it. I mean, I think it's a good card. I think it's something different, and it adds something a little different to the, you know, to the game. It's not just like, oh, you need 5 monsters in the grave and then you can draw 2, and it's not just a straight up draw 2, because it's got certain fallbacks, like you can't special summon. But it's good in, like, yeah, I guess Machinas if you're not special summoning, or you can run it in Stun or Gemini City or something like that, and it just, you know, helps speed the deck up. And who knows, maybe somebody will tech it in Glads and be good with it. I don't know.
Exactly.
But alright, I guess we're gonna try to wrap up for that.
Yeah.
So the both cards that we talked about were Duality and Starlight Road. So you guys go ahead and leave us comments, PM us, tell us what you think about the 2 cards, tell us your arguments about the cards. Let's make like a conversation about this, you know? Like not just like, oh, that's bad, that's good. Give us like a straight up answer and like put some thought into it, you know? And check out our sites. Links will be all around everywhere in the sidebar, bottom bar,
Up here.
wherever they go. In the underpants bar is what I heard Dub K Dad saying. But until then, Team Lockdown, we'll be signing out.